It was an unusually cold autumn evening when Megan left work, the kind of chill that crawled under her coat and kissed her spine. The fading sunlight painted long, uneasy shadows across the sidewalk as she walked toward the grocery store near her apartment. Megan, 35, lived alone in a small but cozy one-bedroom unit on the edge of town, the kind of place that felt just isolated enough to be peaceful, or lonely, depending on the night. She hummed softly to herself as she browsed the aisles, selecting the usual items: pasta, frozen meals, coffee. Her life was routine, maybe even dull, but she liked it that way. Stability was her sanctuary, but tonight the familiar calm began to fracture. It was near the dairy aisle when she first noticed him, a man in his late 40s, maybe early 50s, wearing a gray windbreaker and a black baseball cap pulled low over his forehead. He didn't have a cart, nor did he seem interested in shopping. Megan caught his gaze flicking toward her, then away too quickly to be casual. At first, she brushed it off. Maybe he was waiting for someone. Maybe he was just awkward. But as she moved toward the checkout, she saw him again, standing near the self-serve coffee machine, eyes fixed on her like a hawk watching a mouse. The unease slithered into her gut. Megan forced a polite smile at the cashier, paid, and stepped out into the cold night. She told herself not to look back, but her heart was pounding so hard it hurt, and instinct took over. She turned. There he was, exiting the store, empty-handed, his eyes sweeping the parking lot before landing squarely on her. Her keys trembled in her hand as she fumbled to unlock her car. She tossed the groceries into the passenger seat, got in, locked the doors, and sat there gripping the wheel, trying to steady her breath. Her rational mind told her it was coincidence, but her skin prickled with dread. As she pulled out of the parking lot, headlights flared to life behind her. The same man getting into a dark sedan. Megan took a long, winding route home, doubling back, taking random turns. Still, the sedan was there, a constant shadow in her rearview mirror. Her apartment building finally came into sight, and she cursed herself for not driving to a friend's or a crowded place instead. Inside, she deadbolted the door and pressed her back against it, listening. Minutes passed, nothing. She forced herself to breathe. Maybe she was overreacting. Maybe he lived nearby. But then came the sound, faint, almost imperceptible, of footsteps outside, slow and deliberate. Megan's heart shot into her throat. She tiptoed to the peephole. There he was, standing just beyond the porch light's glow, head tilted slightly as if listening to something inside. He didn't knock. He didn't move. Trembling, Megan crawled away from the door and grabbed her phone. Fingers shaking, she dialed 911, but the call wouldn't connect. Dead signal. Her building had always been a dead zone near the front door. Panic flared in her chest. She crept toward the back window, lifting the curtain a sliver. The man was gone. For a moment, Megan thought she might collapse from the relief. She reached for the phone again, stepping into the kitchen, and froze. A shadow moved across the back patio. Her mind raced. Every window, every door she had locked flashed through her memory. Had she secured the back? Did she check the patio door? She couldn't remember. She crept toward the sliding glass door, breath caught in her throat. Her fingers reached for the lock, but before she could touch it, the handle on the other side twitched. Megan let out a strangled gasp and bolted, stumbling over the coffee table. She crawled behind the couch, clutching the phone to her chest, whispering a desperate prayer for the signal to return. Minutes passed. The only sound was her own ragged breathing. Then came the softest scrape, like fingernails brushing glass. A surge of terror sent her sprinting to the bedroom, where she slammed the door and shoved a chair under the handle. Her fingers found the window latch, but outside she saw him, standing in the shadows, watching. Megan collapsed to her knees, a sob tearing from her throat. She was trapped. Suddenly, headlights flared through the window, a car pulling into the lot. The man disappeared like smoke. Megan waited, barely daring to breathe. When she heard the distant sound of a neighbor's door shutting, she cracked open her bedroom door and crept to the front window. The dark sedan was parked at the edge of the lot, engine idling, lights off. The night stretched on like a nightmare. Hours seemed to pass. Then, in the dead silence, the doorknob rattled. Megan clapped a hand over her mouth to stifle a scream. She backed away, trembling so hard her teeth chattered. Suddenly, a loud bang on the door. She fell to the floor, crawling under the kitchen table, heart battering her ribs. The banging stopped. Footsteps moved away. Megan stayed there until the sky began to lighten, a faint blue creeping into the black. She dared to peek outside. The car was gone. Her body shook as she unlocked the door, peeking into the morning quiet. The world seemed unchanged, as if the night had been a hallucination. But when she stepped outside, her blood turned to ice. Carved into her front door, deep and deliberate, were two words. Next time. Megan's breath hitched. She stumbled backward into her apartment, locking the door again. The police arrived an hour later, filing a report, taking fingerprints, promising to patrol the neighborhood. But deep down, Megan knew they were too late. She moved out a week later. But sometimes, when she lay awake in the small hours of the night in her new apartment across town, she swore she saw headlights idling outside. She swore she saw a shadow slip through the alley. She swore she felt eyes on her back as she rushed up the stairs. And sometimes, just sometimes, when her phone flickered with a dead signal, she heard the softest scrape at the window. If you were chilled by Megan's terrifying night, don't forget to subscribe for more spine-tingling true crime tales that will haunt your thoughts long after the screen goes dark. And remember, sometimes the ones who vanish into the night aren't gone. They're just waiting, watching, biding their time for next time. Until next time, lock your doors, check your windows, and whatever you do, don't look back. Stay safe.